Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Life Beyond Earth, where we uncover interesting and daunting facts about space in the pursuit of finding life beyond Earth. On today's episode, we have a very extreme guest, some would say. This guest is none other than the Extremophile. The Extremophile I will be interviewing today comes from a very hot climate deep within the ocean, ranging from 60 degrees Celsius all the way up to 110 degrees Celsius. This Extremophile is called the Thermophile. Hello, thank you for having me on your podcast today. I'm very excited to be here. We're very excited to have you. To start us off, in what ways is your life form extreme? To begin, my life form is considered extreme due to my ability to thrive in conditions that are impossible for regular life forms to do so. For instance, I live in hydrothermal vents that have immensely high pressures and have heat temperatures ranging from 60 degrees all the way up to 110 degrees, which is way past the temperature that is required to boil water. For almost every other life form living on Earth, these conditions would be dangerous and would cause instant death. But because of my biology, I'm able to thrive and survive in such strenuous conditions. You mentioned your biology and how it allows you to live in such strenuous conditions. To touch upon that statement, what aspects of your biology allow for you to live in these conditions? Well, my survival under these dangerous conditions is dependent on my biological adaptations. For instance, I'm able to survive in such high temperatures because of my enzymes and DNA structure. My enzymes are way more resilient than other organisms on the planet because they are packed together very closely and held together very tightly by strong links. My DNA and proteins within my body have also evolved to be able to withstand such extreme pressures and temperatures found within the deep hydrothermal vents in the ocean as to where I live. Majority of Earth's organisms, their enzymes start to deteriorate at around 47 degrees Celsius. So I consider myself very lucky that my biology has been able to adapt to these dangerous conditions over the years and has given me the chance to live in them. Wow, such a cool answer with such cool biology facts. As a thermophile though, do you prefer to live in an extreme environment or can you just simply survive in extreme conditions? Well, my ability to not only survive, but thrive in such harsh conditions is strongly correlated with my preference to live in such conditions. My species has evolved over a very long period of time in these harsh environments. The temperature range I reside in, which is between 60 degrees and 110 degrees Celsius, is way too hot for many species on Earth to survive. Despite my capacity to survive in less extreme circumstances, my proteins, enzymes, and entire bodily functions were designed to withstand the severe temperatures that I'm known to flourish in. These harsh conditions allow me to multiply, grow, and operate most ideally as an organism. Although I could potentially survive in more humane conditions, I definitely prefer to live in these extreme conditions because I just perform more optimally as an organism. Wow, very interesting. Since we are the Life Beyond Earth podcast, for my final question, what does being an extremophile tell us about life beyond Earth? Well, as an extremophile that lives in quote-unquote very extreme conditions, we can learn a lot about possible life on other planets. Because extremophiles live in various extreme settings, ranging from very hot to very cold, extremely high pressures, and many more, it can prove how life could potentially be harnessed in very extraterrestrial conditions. Extremophiles also give scientists a better chance at finding life in other solar systems because we now know the requirements for life are way more broader and don't need to be the same conditions that humans live in today. Extremophiles also show how adaptable life is over time. For instance, over time, thermophiles have adapted to their environment and are now able to thrive and survive in extremely hot conditions that no other organisms can live in. In other words, if life on Earth learned how to survive in extreme heat and extreme cold, who's to say that life doesn't exist anywhere else in the universe that could have these same conditions? Wow, what an interesting answer. I never thought about life beyond Earth in that way. Well, this ends today's episode of Life Beyond Earth. Thank you so much, Extremophile, for coming on the podcast today and giving us insight on what it's like being an extremophile. See you guys on the next episode of Life Beyond Earth, where we will continue our pursuit of space.